Jeb Bush spoke at a Southern Baptist conference, and he shoved his foot in his mouth yet again.
There was a vote that failed in the United States Senate yesterday to defund Planned Parenthood. Would you think that we have a continuing resolution coming up to fund the government, given the atrocity of these children being destroyed with such callous disregard for their lives? Shouldn't we make that an issue and say not one more red cent to Planned Parenthood?
We should. And the next president should defund Planned Parenthood. Look.
Very straightforward. A room full of Baptists loves it, as you can see there. But what he didn't realize, because he's not that bright, is that the rest of the country, when they hear that, they go, oh my God. He really is trying to take us back to 1950. Elizabeth Warren caught a lot of shit because the other day she gave a speech on the Senate floor saying, the Republicans want to take us back to 1950. And Jeb Bush came out here and verified that. He's like, yes, indeed, that's exactly what I would like to do. Defund Planned Parenthood. Yoo-hoo! Yeah! It's so silly how he doesn't understand, he doesn't realize this is the age of the internet, and everybody can hear what you're saying. In his mind, he thinks that it's only the 13,000 Baptist preachers in front of him that could hear him, so he's going to say whatever the fuck they want to hear. So later, he actually had to come out and backpedal, and I'll get to that in a second. But he goes on to say, you could take dollar for dollar, although I'm not sure we need $500 million for women's health issues, but if you took dollar for dollar, there are many extraordinary fine community health organizations that exist to provide quality care for women on a wide variety of health issues. But abortion should not be funded by the government. Now, what's he missing? Well, number one, only 97% of Planned Parenthood services aren't abortion. That's a fact. Republicans just seem to, across the board, not know this. And number two, even when Planned Parenthood is providing abortion services in 3% of cases, it's not government funded. Huffington Post explains here. They say, quote, the Hyde Amendment, routinely attached to congressional spending measures, already prohibits federal funding for abortions, except in cases of incest, rape, or medical emergency. So they argue against a policy that does not exist. But again, Republican ignorance knows no bounds, because he's convinced that that's the case when it's not the case. So what did Bush do in response to this when there was a backlash when this clip got out there? He went into panic mode. Quote, with regards to women's health funding broadly, I misspoke. Oh, I know, you always misspoke after the fact when people call you out on your horseshit. It's not like, hey, yeah, I really believe that, but you caught me and I'm a dick. No, it's, I misspoke. I meant to say I love Planned Parenthood, even though I said the exact opposite. He says, I misspoke, as there are countless community health centers, rural clinics, and other women's health organizations that need to be fully funded. They provide critical services to all, but particularly low-income women who don't have the access they need. Okay. I don't believe you, asshole. I think if/when you were to become president of the United States, you would definitely go after funding for Planned Parenthood. If a bill got to your desk that defunded Planned Parenthood, I think you would sign it. I think what you're trying to do is walk that political line now and say, hey, I want to appease the overwhelming majority of the country that's for Planned Parenthood and for these services, but I also want to be true to my base who's against it. So what are you doing? You're pulling a classic Mitt Romney. You say one thing in a crystal clear way, and then you come out and say, did I say it in a crystal clear way? I meant the opposite of what I said. He's a classic sleazy politician. And by the way, understand that if you defund Planned Parenthood, all of the other things that Republicans say they care about gets worse. STD rates will shoot up. Out-of-wedlock births will shoot up. All these societal problems that these guys focus on, and they say, oh, that's the problem. In the black community, out-of-wedlock births, that's the problem. Oh, STD transmissions, that's a problem. All those things will get worse if you defund Planned Parenthood. So what do? You want to live in fantasy land. And fantasy land is, let's take away all the free clinics, let's take away sex education, let's take away all the preventative measures, and then even with taking those away, let's also say, berate people and say, oh, don't have out-of-wedlock children, don't get diseases, don't have sex at all. Deny human nature completely. What's the Republican plan? Who said it recently? They said, in my day, we used to put aspirin between our legs, which means don't fuck. Put the aspirin between your legs and just disregard your sex drive, which is so easy to do when you're a teenager. So this is what they want. They want to live in fantasy land. Get rid of Planned Parenthood, get rid of sex education, get rid of the condom, get rid of the pill, get rid of IUDs, get rid of all this stuff, and let's magically also have the out-of-wedlock birth rate decline, abortion rate decline, and STD rates decline. You can't have that because that's not the real world that we live in. That would be contradictory. The policies that you want, the ideas you want are contradictory. But then again, I never expected somebody like Jeb Bush to be good in the logic department.